This video will explain the properties related to views. Views serve as the containers for UI display, and each view has a name and an ID. Views can be configured with background images, background colors, transparency, and whether they are modal. In Giraffe, there are 3 layers available: the UI layer, the state layer, and the top layer. As shown in the video, the UI layer is the bottom layer, the state layer is in the middle, and the top layer is at the top. The state and top layers cannot have view background images, but they can have background colors. For views, the UI layer cannot set background transparency or modality, but the state and top layers can. Background alpha, the transparency of the view's background, ranges from 0 to 255, where 0 is fully transparent and 255 is fully opaque. View modality, if a view is set as modal, touches will only affect that layer and won't pass through to the layers below. The editable area is the gray region in the view editing window and can extend beyond the screen's display size. The following practical demonstration will further explain view properties. Currently, both views in the project are on the UI layer. Let's create a new view, View 3, and change it to the state layer. Drag a button from the widget panel to View 3. Adjust the button size, and change its display text to State Layer. The default font is the English font, but you can change it to another font if the desired text range is not in this font. Add another button to View 3 to facilitate page navigation. Copy the code to set the display view back into View3UI.c. Unlike the page switching project demonstrated earlier, here, we're enriching the page switching logic by including a mechanism to obtain the current view ID. Now, run the virtual window to see the display effects. As you press the button, the interface switches between the UI layers, and although the UI layer changes, the state layer remains visible. Next, let's demonstrate how to change the transparency display effect. When the transparency is set to 255, it completely covers the layers below. When the transparency is set to a lower value, the background layer becomes more transparent. When the transparency is set to 0, the background layer becomes completely transparent. Create a new view, View 4, and place a button on the view. Use View 4 to demonstrate the UI effect for the top layer. Go to View1UI.c, and in the initialization of View 1, add the code to set the display view to View 4. Change the View modality of View 4 to Yes. After running the project, you'll notice that all layers, except the top layer, View 4, are untouchable. Change the View modality of View 3 to Yes and save and run the project. After running, you'll observe that widget S on the state layer, View 3, are also touch-sensitive. Back to View 4. Change the View modality of the top layer, View 4, to No, and set the background transparency to 255. Run the project, and you'll see that the top layer completely covers the contents of the state and UI layers. Set the background transparency of View 4 back to 0, and then create a new view, View 5. Change the layer location of View 5 to the State layer. Both the state and top layers can have multiple pages, but within the same layer, only one page can be displayed at a time. In practical projects, if you need multiple state or top layers, you can simply call the Hide Layer API at the points where you need to switch layers. Then use the Set Display View function to show the corresponding pages. It is the end of the video. For more product information, please visit TDO's official website, www.shtdo.com.